Welcome to Successful Living with Bill Knapik. Every week we talk with interesting people in a variety of professions, and along the way, get ideas to enhance success in all categories of your life. Successful Living with Bill Knapik starts right now. And here's your host, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show, Successful Living with Bill Knapik. And today, Successful Living, yes, he's back, the Medicare Whisperer. He is Mike Alexander. Mike, welcome back.
Hey, thanks, Bill. Glad to be back.
Medicare, Social Security, never goes away. We love it, right?
That's right. That's right.
Well,
absolutely.
They're great programs. The important things, they can be complex, especially as people reach the age where we can use these governmental benefits. But as always, we need to be mindful of so many intricacies, and that's why you are here serving people for many, many decades as the Medicare Whisperer. So, Mike, let's remind people what you do.
Sure. Well, basically, we are a Medicare and Social Security consulting team. We help people explain Medicare, educate them about Medicare, show them how to enroll in Medicare, help them enroll in Medicare, and help them find the proper plan that fits their needs, as well as helping them with determining what is the best time to take Social Security. Go through all the different options with them, because when they take it can make same way with Medicare. When they take Medicare or Social Security, if you don't get the dates right and you miss enrollment times, then you're going to have problems in the future or have to pay some severe penalties. That we can help prevent all that with a little bit of education.
And certainly as people hear the show right here in the Houston area at the time of broadcast, we also know they hear it outside of Texas, Houston, and even maybe even the country sometimes on the internet. So some of the things you're talking about, when we talk about Medicare and Social Security, those are things that are the same throughout the United States, or do they differ by state?
Actually, they're the same. Medicare is pretty much the same across the country. Some of the plans vary, like the supplement and advantage plans vary, but Medicare itself is nationwide. Social Security is nationwide.
And you've been helping people primarily in the Houston area. Do you ever help people outside? Just curious.
Oh, yeah. We help people in several states, probably about 17 different states that we help people in. And we can always help anybody, no matter where they're from. We don't have access to the state, like, for instance, New York. We would refer you to one of our affiliates in New York that can help you.
So the name, the Medicare Whisperer, it goes far and wide around the country. That's a great thing.
You bet. You bet. We can do it anywhere. We can help people anywhere.
And before we go further, we'll just tell people your website is getagreatquote.com.
www.getagreatquote.com.
So you're helping
all together.
You're helping people all the time, but also this time of year, there's a topic you want to bring up. Let's talk about that.
Sure. Well, what we want to talk about now is today, it actually started officially. It's called Open Enrollment for Medicare every year. During the open enrollment, or as Medicare refers it, is to the OEP, the initials. But what open enrollment means is that you can change every year between October 15th and December the 7th. You can change the way your Medicare benefits are delivered, whether you're on a supplement and you want to go to an advantage, or if you're on an advantage plan and you want to go to a supplement. You can also change your Part D drug plan. You can also change the Medicare Advantage plan that you're on in case the doctor doesn't take that plan anymore. Everybody every year gets what's called an ANOC letter or an ANOC booklet from their current Part D plan or their current Medicare Advantage plan. I educate people to read that every year when you get it. Don't just put it in the trash, thinking it's junk mail. It's called the ANOC, Annual Notice Change. You want to read that to see what's changed on the plan that you currently have. And if the changes are not acceptable to you or you don't like the changes, you're allowed between October 15th and December the 7th to change your Part D plan or to change your Medicare Advantage plan, okay, and go back to traditional Medicare. So very busy time of year. I encourage everybody to do two things: to check if you're on traditional Medicare and you have a Part D drug plan. I encourage them to go to either our website or go to Medicare.gov and to run all their drug plans. We have a tool that we help you set up. It's called the Medicare Blue Button. And what the Blue Button does is it holds all of your drugs in a file, in a data file, as well as anything that Medicare pays, a claim what Medicare paid, what they didn't pay. You can go to hit that blue button on Medicare.gov, and it'll give you all that information. You need to change your drugs that you're taking in there. It'll update it. It's really good to have because you can go in anytime if your relatives or something, you get sick and you're not able to access it. You can give that info to your relatives, and they can access it to make sure that you're being taken care of properly. So if you haven't set up a Medicare.gov account and the blue button, you need to definitely go online and set that up, or call us. We'll help you set that up at our office also. We do a lot of that for people.
As far as when we're talking about drugs, let's say someone signs up on Medicare, Medicaid. I'm confused now already. So when they sign up, when they're 65, right?
Correct.
All right.
That's when they sign up for Medicare.
When you sign up for Medicare, and let's say you're not taking any prescription drugs, which is a great thing.
Yeah, it is a great thing.
You sign up, but you're not taking any drugs, but maybe years down the road you might be. Should there be things you think about then to be ready to go, or you just
that's
not
a good
worry
question,
about it?
Bill. Yeah, that's a good question. Now, what I always tell people, if you don't take any meds, okay, I call them Medicare placemat plans. So what you should do, just in case, two things, just in case you ever have to take a drug, you're at least covered.
Mm-hmm.
They're called placemat plans, which is the very lowest price plan on the market. This year, the lowest cost plan on the market is $7.30. Okay. So if you're paying more than that and you don't take any drugs, you probably should change, okay, to the cheaper plan. And again, remember, every year you can change from October 15th through December the 7th. The other caveat is if you don't sign up for a Part D plan when you're eligible, then Medicare will assess a 1% per month penalty for every month that you don't have a Part D plan. So let's say that you don't sign up for Part D for 3 years. Well, you've got a 36% penalty that'll be applied to your Medicare Part B premium. And that penalty is not one time, it's forever. You pay it the rest of your life. So again, if you're not taking any meds, I recommend you sign up for a placemat plan, which, like I say, the lowest cost plan this year is $7.30. It's better to have that than not have a Part D plan at all. So we always kind of recommend that. I get that question a lot. Well, I don't want to take anything. I don't want to spend the money. You spend it now or spend it later, is the old saying. If you don't spend it now, you're going to spend it later because they will assess that penalty. I actually dealt with a gentleman. He had didn't take a Part D for 5 years, and all of a sudden he got real sick and he was taking all kinds of meds. Well, he had a 60% penalty. I mean, a 60% penalty, for not signing up for his Part D for 5 years. So it can get expensive. People ask me, how do they determine the penalty? Well, the penalty is determined by the average Part D drug plan every year. The average plan nationwide is about $32, $33 nationwide. So that's how they base the penalty. So it's going to be 1%, or roughly about 30, 40 cents a month penalty.
I wonder why they do that. That doesn't make sense. But, okay, so as far as Medicare, how many parts do you need? Let's say maybe you're an independent contractor or whatever, but you're not on a company plan. Maybe you're retired. So to have all those pieces, you have to have Part A. Apparently, Part D is the prescription. So you have to have those two. And what else do you have to have good health care?
Well, what you need to have Medicare in, either for a supplement or an advantage plan, to pay for that, you need to have Medicare Part A, which is the hospital part, Medicare Part B, which is basically everything outside the hospital, okay,
doctor
visits, that type of stuff, and then of course Medicare Part D. Now you hear about Medicare Part C. Well, Medicare Part C is the Medicare Advantage plans, which combine your A, B, and D all in one plan through a private insurance company. So when you're on traditional Medicare A, B, and D, Medicare pays 80% of your doctor and hospital bills. Then you buy a supplement or a Medigap plan, that's going to pay the 20% that Medicare does not pay.
Kind of complicated.
It is. You have to know the system, and that's what we're there for. Help walk people through it and make sure that they're in the right plan for them. Again, everybody's different. So we try to customize it for that individual person, not just an overall general overview. We try to go for each individual person and try to help them determine the plan that's going to work best for them.
And double checking, is there a Part E? I'm afraid to ask.
No, there's not a Part E.
Good. We can
they
stop
might have that down the
somewhere.
road, but there's, believe it or not, there has been some discussion about the long-term care issue with the baby boomers, all hitting the age group. The government is concerned about the cost of long-term care. So there are some states actually have long-term care through the state. If you can't qualify for Medicaid, then the government is looking at possibly trying to come up with some type of alternative for people that can't afford the long-term care. I always tell people, you may not need it now, but 1 out of 5 people are going to require some form of home health care or long-term care in their lifetime. Currently, it does not cover long-term care.
So back to Medicare. To keep it simple, we need to be concerned about Part A, B, and D. This all makes a case for why you are there helping people, because it's complicated. And when you're in the market for Medicare and Social Security, these things have complexities to them. You need someone to guide you through this, and that's what you're doing. Tell people, as you mentioned, Medicare and Medicaid. Let's just, in case somebody doesn't know, what's the difference between those two?
Medicare is the federal government program. As long as you have worked at least 10 quarters in your lifetime, doesn't matter if it's full-time, part-time, but as long as you have worked at least 10 quarters in your lifetime, you are eligible for Medicare, okay? As a U.S. citizen, you're eligible for Medicare. And Medicare is through the federal government. Medicaid is through the state government. So let's say that your income is very low and you fall below a certain level of income, you may qualify for both Medicare and Medicaid. So if what happens then, Medicare is going to pay their 80, Medicaid is going to pick up the 20% that Medicare does not pay. Okay. Again, this is for very low income people. Medicaid has 4 levels. So it depends. You may get full Medicaid, you may get partial Medicaid, you may get what's called LIS subsidy, low income subsidy to help pay for your drugs. You may get full Medicaid, which is going to cover your Medicare Part B premium, and it's going to cover everything at the doctor and the hospital where you don't have any copays. But again, you have to qualify, and it's all based on income and assets.
At what age can you get Medicaid?
Medicaid you can get at any time as long as you're disabled, or if your income falls below a certain level, you can get Medicaid regardless of age. In Houston, Harris County, of course, we have another alternative. If you make just a little bit too much money for Medicaid, then you can qualify for what's called the Harris County Gold Card. And that's kind of designed for people that, have income where they can't afford any type of insurance, but they're able to sign up for the Harris County Gold Card, and because they make too much money for Medicaid. And believe me, Medicaid's real strict. If you make $1 over the limit, you don't get Medicaid. If you deposit $1 more than what they allow you to have in your account, you lose your Medicaid. Very, very important if you're on Medicaid that you control what you put in your bank account, how much money you can make, because if you make $1 more than that's allowed, you lose the Medicaid benefit.
Again, you're there to help people. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. What else should we know about this open enrollment before we move on to something else?
Well, I'd like to kind of go over, there's been some changes in the Medicare Part D program. So in the past, we've had what's called 3 stages of the Medicare Part D. And this year, it's now divided into 4 stages. And the way the stages work is you have the first stage is called the deductible stage. That's where most all the plans have a deductible. So you have to first meet your deductible, and then you go into the next stage, which I call the copay stage or the initial coverage stage. Medicare covers that, but I like to say the copay stage. During that stage, you'll pay copays for all of your drugs up to out of pocket of $4,130. Then you will enter what's called I call it the 25% threshold stage, or some people call it the gap stage. Medicare used to call it the donut hole, but the coverage gap or the threshold stage is much better than the donut hole, because now when you hit that amount, all that you're going to pay is 25% of the average wholesale cost of that drug, up to a total out of pocket of $6,530. Now, people say, whoa, that's a lot of money. But that 25% that you pay, okay, there's 75% that the government's paying. So whatever the government is paying, that goes against that $6,550. So it's not going to take you $6,000 out of your pocket to hit the catastrophic stage, which is the last stage. Okay. So don't get only about 13% of the entire Medicare population actually hits that stage. Most people stay within the copay stage for the whole year. After they hit that 65.50, then they fall into what's called the catastrophic phase for the rest of the year. During that phase, they'll pay $370 for generics, or $920 for name brand drugs. And that goes through the end of the year, through December 31st. Then January 1, everything starts over again with the deductible stage, the initial stage, the threshold stage, and the catastrophic stage. Starts all over again. The drugs are determined by tier levels. So, and I kind of want to go over that a little bit. The tier levels are: Tier 1 are preferred generics, Tier 2 are non-preferred generics, Tier 3 are preferred brand drugs, Tier 4 are called non-preferred brand drugs, and Tier 5 are what they call specialty drugs. Those are usually drugs that are mixed at the pharmacy in a compound and given to you. Those fall under the Tier 5 level. And depending on the plan you have, most of the Tier 1 and Tier 2 drugs, generics, are free in most plans. Most of your preferred brand are around $47, and most of your non-preferred brands are around $100 copay. Then your Tier 5 drugs will vary, again, depending on the Part D plan or the Medicare Advantage plan you select. They could be anywhere from 25% to 33% of the average wholesale price.
So, Mike, during the course of the year, Medicare, Social Security, how often do things change? Because part of your job is helping people. Also, part of your job is keeping up with the changes in all these governmental programs. But in the case of as the year has gone by, how many changes are being made? I mean, are there a lot, or just every once in a while?
No, very few changes are made to the drug formularies. I mean, the only time a change would be made to a drug formulary if Medicare discovers an adverse reaction to the drug, for instance, an opioid situation, or if it's a new drug that basically just came out and they're starting to get feedback from a lot of clinical trial stuff from it, or bad information from the consumer in the Medicare claims, then Medicare may discontinue or put a hold on that drug temporarily. Now, if it's a drug that your doctor says you have to take, they do give you some options. Medicare has two options. One, it's called an appeal. You can appeal that drug decision to your Medicare Part D drug plan. Or if your doctor says it's absolutely necessary that you take this drug, because if you don't take it, it's going to adversely affect your health or you could die, then that's called an exception. And it's a form that you have to fill out you get it from your Part D company, and then you submit it to your doctor. You can't fill it out and send it in. Your doctor has to do it. So you take it to your doctor, send it to your doctor, and he can either fax it in or mail it in to the Part D company, approve the exception. People ask me all the time, how many do they approve? About 70% of the time, they'll approve the drug, the exception of the appeal. They want to make sure that that drug is the right drug for you. Now, they may require you to take a trial drug. In other words, take another drug to see if that drug works. But if that drug doesn't work, your doctor said it doesn't work, then you can go forward with the appeal or the exception. Again, we help people do that. It's confusing. They don't know how to fill out the form right. And so we help them do that also if they have trouble with that.
We're talking with Mike Alexander, known as the Medicare Whisperer, helping people with Medicare and even Social Security. GetAGreatQuote.com.
Yep. They can go to the website at getagreatquote.com. They can call our office at 281-448-3040, and we'll be glad to assist anybody in enrolling in Medicare, A and B, enrolling in Social Security, enrolling in a Medicare plan. We have a program we use is called Trusty Care, and the program searches all the plans, looks up all the doctors, and so you'll know if you're in the right plan or if your doctor is going to take that plan for 2021. We can just go in, put all your information in, and it tells us exactly what plan is going to work for you with the lowest out-of-pocket cost to you. 281-448-3040, and the website is www.getagreatquote.com.
A quick word, as let's say someone doesn't have any problems, or I don't even know if that comes into play, but when you're on Medicare, an independent contractor that turns 65 and they enroll in Medicare, and let's say they have some of the best plans, A, B, and D, give us an idea. What are they paying a month for that healthcare, healthcare package? Just everybody's different, I guess. But what could we think about?
That's a good question too. Medicare, basically, your Medicare Part B is going to cost you, based on your income, it's going to cost you $144.80 for Part B, and again, that goes up with your income. You can go to Medicare.gov, click on what Medicare costs, and it'll give you a chart based on your income on how much your Part B will cost. Your Part D, again, that depends on how many drugs you take, and that could go anywhere from $7.30 to up to $85 a month for a Part D plan. Medicare Supplement or Medigap, on the average, and I'm just going to use the Houston area for a male in the Houston area, you're looking at about, for a Plan G supplement, which is the most popular, it usually runs about $140 or less. A female, usually around $120 or less for a Plan G, which is kind of the best supplement. Now, if you were born before January 1 of 2020, you can still get what's called a Medicare Plan F supplement. That's the plan that pays 100% of everything. You have no out-of-pocket at the doctor or the hospital. More expensive, but you never see a bill. You never worry about a bill.
There you go. It's never easy. He is, Mike. I love it, Mike. That's why people are going to call you at, what's the number?
281-448-3040.
GetAGreatQuote.com. Mike Alexander, the Medicare Whisperer. Mike, thanks for being on the show. You've been listening to Successful Living with Bill Knapik, and today being enlightened by Mike Alexander. Thank you, Mike, and thank you all for listening.
Thanks a lot, Bill.
We'll see you next week. It may be time to enhance your sales skills or to bring your team's skills to a higher level. Call Neil Benedict with Silverbrick Sales Solutions at 281-771-2876. Increasing your sales results is a combination of many components. Training is one of the essentials. Silverbrick Sales Solutions uses the Sandler training method. Neil Benedict, 281-771-2876. Are you ready to increase your sales? Find out how Neil can help you. That's Neil Benedict at 281-771-2876. The website is silverbricksolutions.sandler.com. It has been said, our health is our wealth. If you or anyone you know is suffering with mental health, addiction, or a complex medical issue, the J. Flowers Health Institute, located right here in Houston, is here to help. The J. Flowers Health Institute specializes in providing comprehensive health and wellness evaluations for individuals who want to improve their quality of life. Every client at the J. Flowers Health Institute receives personal one-on-one concierge service and a workable plan for future health. For more information about the J. Flowers Health Institute and its concierge services, go to jflowershealth.com. That's jflowershealth.com, or call 713-783-6655. That's 713-783-6655. And be sure to mention you heard about them on the Successful Living Show. Again, the number is 713-783-6655, or go to jflowershealth.com.